This guy wants me to watch a video about how smoking is awesome. Fuck it. Fuck it.
The problem with smoking is that it's kind of amazing. This is an irresponsible thing to say, but if we're going to talk...
That's awesome, man. Guys, W or L smoking?
The problem with smoking is that it's kind of amazing. This is an irresponsible
You know what's
thing to
crazy?
say.
I'm 24 years old. I'm not even kidding. I'm 24, right? I've never in my entire life ever smoked. Like, ever. Not even a little bit. Nothing. Zero. Like, no cigarettes, no vape, none of that shit. Absolutely nothing.
But if we're going to talk about it, we might as well do so honestly. Smoking creates a temporary problem.
It's actually crazy because every time I go to the doctor for my physical and he asks me if I smoke or something, I say no. And back when I used to go to the doctor with my mom, he'd be like, "Okay, are you just saying that because your mom's in the room?" Like the guy would never, my doctor would never believe that I never have done it before.
About it, we might as well do so honestly. Smoking creates a temporary problem and offers an instant solution. Once your brain is used to nicotine, for up to 72 hours you're
Yo, chill.
itchy, nervous and stressed. But one drag and instantly you feel really good. But it's way more than just a physical addiction. Smoking helps you focus at work and is an excuse to take regular breaks, which is good for you mentally. It's a tool against boredom, it suppresses your appetite, it makes bad moments feel less bad and good moments better. It's social, fun together, and a good way to make friends as smokers always group up. Your lips are one of the most sensitive parts of your body, and putting something between them is deeply satisfying. So now that we've given smoking an honest introduction, let's smoke a cigarette together to see why it makes you feel so good and what exactly happens inside your body when you do it.
Fuck yeah.
Worst thing.
Do you think you look like a smoker? I don't look like a smoker at all. Yo, should I draw myself like a stick figure of me?
Cigarette is dried tobacco leaves mixed with chemicals that make it burn slowly, helping you to absorb nicotine and flavors that make the smoke less harsh.
Yo, what's up, Dury?
Cigarette smoke is 95% gases like carbon dioxide and water vapor. The remaining 5% are particles called tar, and they contain the magic sauce, carbon or nitrogen compounds filled with nicotine. As you inhale, billions of particles interact with everything they pass through, getting stuck on your throat, tongue, and trachea.
That's
Your lungs are like big inflatable sponges and have a filter and barrier. The cilia cells with hair-like extensions covered by a layer of mucus. They trap
That's
dust or
disgusting.
bacteria to be swept away in a sort of dance. Tar particles land in the mucus and turn into a sticky brown substance that stops the dance and paralyzes.
That's
the
crazy.
cilia,
People know that
lungs
smoking kills you and they still do it. That's crazy, bro.
Little air sacs, and here's where your actual breathing happens. They have very thin walls so that oxygen can transfer to your blood and carbon dioxide can leave. Now the magic is released. Nicotine passes through the thin walls and enters your bloodstream, reaching your brain so fast that it feels instant. The positive effect arrives right away. If your brain had a control board, smoking would be like pressing all the buttons at once, releasing loads of transmitters and hormones that affect your whole body. Epinephrine and cortisol make your heart beat faster and your body ready for action.
If y'all were like 80 years old, right? If y'all were like 70 years old, 80 years old, would you try cocaine just to see what it felt like? Because you're going to die anyway.
Dopamine makes you feel happy and relaxed and reduces your appetite. Beta endorphins reduce pain and stress.
Yeah?
Nicotine excites and calms you.
For like my last moment. Oh, yeah. That's even better. Like if you're on your deathbed. That's true. No, that's actually true. If you're on your deathbed and you're like, fuck, dude, I can see the light. Like, I see the Grim Reaper in the corner of my room. Like, I know I'm going to die in this bed, you know, in the hospital. Shit. If you could get your hands on, like, some cocaine or crack or meth or shit like that, shit, would you try it?
Focus, your nerves become more sensitive to pleasant sensations.
I might.
And your whole body relaxes. Together, all of these effects just feel great. But your brain immediately tries to return to normal and pushes back against the effects of nicotine.
What the fuck?
Which is...
Did you know that in Austria, sex is legal when you're 14 years old? Why the fuck would I know that? No, bro. I did not know that. No. Why the hell did you think you needed to type that out? Nobody's talking about that. Bro, nobody said anything about that. Why are you typing that shit out, bro?
Fine as long as you have nicotine inside your blood, but once its effects wear off, your body is left overcompensating, creating a massive
What's
imbalance
this guy
within
on?
itself.
This
The
guy
more
might
you
be
smoke,
on
the harder your
coke.
body tries to push back, which is why nicotine is so addictive. You stop feeling like yourself without it. It's still great, but now you also need it just to feel normal. If that was all smoking did, well, that would be kind of okay.
Alright, bro. Alright, bro. I'm gonna time you out for 10 minutes. That's wild.
Nicotine
That's
comes with
wild.
thousands of different chemical buddies. Cadmium, lead, arsenic and cyanide, hydrogen peroxide or nitrogen oxides cause damage wherever they end up. Carbon monoxide reduces how much oxygen your blood can carry. In your lungs, your cilia cells struggle. It's hard to push mucus clogged up with tar, and some of your cilia cells die. Your alveoli are super sensitive and can't handle this sort of stress. A few of your tiny air sacs pop like balloons, causing irreparable damage. Your body needs to get rid of all this tar immediately. Goblet cells pump out extra mucus to compensate, which makes breathing harder.
How do
so you
people
start
learn
coughing
shit
to
like
get the
this?
tar
How do
and
people
mucus
figure
out.
this shit out?
Your immune system activates and macrophages begin eating up tar particles. Smokers have way more of these cleanup cells here because their lungs are literally full of dirt. But the nicotine makes the macrophages sluggish and inefficient. Worse, they vomit chemicals that dissolve your lung tissue and cause tiny wounds that turn into scar tissue. Scars in your lungs are bad if you like breathing. Nicotine raises your heart rate while ordering blood vessels all over your body to constrict. Meanwhile, toxic chemicals get stuck, causing countless tiny wounds all over your body that will turn into scars.
That's
Those
crazy.
scars leak proteins that create random blood clots, making your blood vessels even narrower. Constricted and narrow vessels put a lot of stress on your heart muscle that has to work much harder to keep blood flowing.
I'm not traumatized. I never smoked. None of this happened to me.
Inside your skin, the chemicals trigger enzymes that
Smoke
break down
enjoyers in the
collagen,
chat are
the protein that makes
panicking
your
right
skin
now.
elastic and smooth. This creates folds and wrinkles. Your skin ages much quicker and you look older sooner. But maybe the worst thing is what happens to your immune system. All over your body it reacts to tiny wounds and activates, fighting an invisible enemy, damaging healthy cells in the process. While at the same time, the nicotine makes it slow and sluggish. Worse at fighting actual diseases. We could go on like this, but this is getting old. In a nutshell, every single one of your organs is highly stressed and suffers some kind of permanent damage. Over time, fats get stuck in the scars inside blood vessels, which get narrower and narrower until they start to suffocate your organs.
Oh.
Your overworked heart beats even harder to push blood through the extra resistance, and your blood pressure rises. So hard that fluids seep out of blood vessels into your lungs, which makes breathing even harder. The likelihood of a blood clot blocking a critical passage in the body rises enormously, which can eventually cause a heart attack
Oh
or a
my
stroke.
god.
Almost all smokers eventually get chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So many of your alveoli are irreversibly destroyed that you're always short of breath, never able to breathe freely. Once you have it, it can only get worse, never better again. Finally, there's cancer. You get a sort of double whammy. On the one hand, you flood your whole
Yo, what's
system,
up,
and
Soul
especially
Reaper?
your lungs, with at least 70 highly cancer-causing chemicals. And on the other hand, you paralyze the part of your immune system that kills and prevents cancer. This is why cancer is so likely in smokers. Ultimately, smoking is uniquely dangerous among the things you are legally allowed to do. The average smoker loses 10 years of life, which means that some lose like 5 years and others more like 25. You don't know which one will be you. But it cuts into your health span even more, making a much larger part of your life spent being chronically sick.
Wait, this is actually a really good video.
So why don't smokers not just like stop
Chad,
doing it?
when they teach y'all about stuff in school, do they play videos like this? Because I wish they played videos like this.
Smokers are often seen as unhinged or without discipline, which is unfair. Nicotine is one of the most physically and psychologically addictive substances known to humanity. If you ever start using it, you'll likely struggle with it for the rest of your life. The physical addiction lasts around 3 days.
They
But
don't.
the psychological addiction is much harder to overcome because you form strong habits and it's connected to many social cues, like hanging out with friends or winding down from work. The perverse thing is that almost everybody who starts smoking as a teenager. The tobacco
That's
industry
true.
has to target vulnerable brains and get them hooked on the pleasurable effects of nicotine, or it would go away. Today, about 1 billion people will light a cigarette, which is a lot, but at least the trends are looking good. In 2000, 34% of adults were smoking.
That shit is
2020,
evil.
It was only 23%. Still, in 2023, about 8 million people died from it. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are many successful strategies for quitting. We've put links to some in the video
Nicotine
description.
gum.
People who stop smoking by the age of 35 on average don't die earlier than non-smokers. If you're older than that, even quitting late can add years to your life. It's a bit like with climate change. Every bit counts, even if damage has already been done. We're not the morality or health police, you do you. But at least be aware what exactly you're doing and why you're doing it. Most of you watching this don't smoke, so, well, just maybe never try it.
How does he know
Smoking
that?
only really solves a temporary problem, but it creates loads of permanent ones.
How does he know that?
Good thing I never started. But it's not like I never do things I know I shouldn't. Like using sketchy free Wi-Fis or downloading files without double-checking the source.
Alright.
We tried out NordVPN to relieve some of our existential dread.
W putting the ad at the end of the video. Damn, that was a good video, dude. I like that video. It didn't go too into the nerdy science talk. I was hoping it didn't do that. It didn't do that at all. It just told you what happens. It didn't go into crazy science talk or anything. It wasn't boring. That was a good video. Shit VPN. Yeah, no, I actually asked somebody who knows about like VPN stuff. Like what are good VPNs? And he was saying if a VPN you ever see is advertised, that means it's a shit VPN and you shouldn't use it. That is a really good video though. That is a really good video. I'll give that a like. That was really good.